Are you writing SOPs while your deal flow is dying? I see this constantly. Operators documenting processes for businesses that don't have any customers yet. They optimize systems that don't produce revenue. They're playing business instead of running one. Let me show you what this playing business thing looks like at scale. Let's take, for example, Cracker Barrel. You know, the restaurant chain. Cracker Barrel's CEO had a problem. Traffic to the stores was down. The revenue was declining. The menu was stale. What did she do? She launched a $750 million rebranding campaign. New logos, new interiors, new signage. She even went on national morning TV to unveil the new logo. Uncle Herschel was gone. She took him off. Well, not her. The company took him off. She declared that their customers and their employees' feedback on the recent changes was overwhelmingly positive. Like, everybody loves it. The internet went crazy. It exploded. Customers were furious. Social media was in a meltdown. They wanted Uncle Herschel back on the logo. They wanted consistency. And within a few days, the CEO caved and, well, reversed the decision. But what nobody here is talking about is, why did this happen in the first place? Why was the CEO focused on the logo and the rebranding? And yes, they had a lot of data around how younger people were not going into the stores. They weren't connecting with the brand. But were they not connecting with the logo, with the way that the store looked, or was it something else? The CEO had a revenue problem. The company had a revenue problem. Customers were not coming in. But instead of asking why the customers stopped showing up, she decided that the logo was the issue. See, the customers weren't avoiding Cracker Barrel because Uncle Herschel was on the logo. No, they were avoiding it because of value, food quality, and probably a dozen other real problems. This is what I call the order trap. And it's not just Cracker Barrel. It's everywhere. Cracker Barrel had a deal flow problem. They needed customers. They needed revenue. Cash is oxygen for a business. They needed that, but instead they focused on order, efficiency, branding, and optimization. This is like, well, going to a gym when you're having a heart attack. Would you just keep lifting weights? No, you'd be racing to the hospital. But here's why this happens. Deal flow problems, well, they're scary and they're hard. They really are hard. But when we're outside of our comfort zone, that's where we stop doing things and we chase other things. And order problems, they're safer. We can control the order level problems because we can measure them. And a lot of times they're faster to solve than some of those deal flow problems. We can check off boxes and look, writing an SOP, it feels productive. Or in Cracker Barrel's part, rebranding, it feels like we're making progress. But if you don't have revenue that's driving the company, then you're like rearranging chairs on the Titanic. It's just not going to stay there for long. This is the investor priority pyramid. Notice that deal flow is at the base of the pyramid. You can't skip it. You can't automate around it. You have to go through it. When you have deal flow problems, then you have to attack those head on. You can't retreat to safety up higher in the pyramid. It doesn't work that way. And I've been on both sides of this. I've had so many business ideas that I knew would crush it. Oftentimes, I didn't have the capital to pull these things off. And look, some of you are screaming right now at me, go raise the capital. And you're right. That's exactly what I should have done. Younger Scott didn't do that. It's because I was too scared. I was terrified to ask people to invest with me. I was scared if they said no. Like, what would I do if they said no? Today, no is not a big deal. What if they thought my idea was stupid? Or what if I lost their money? So instead of attacking a capital problem that I had at the time, which is, by the way, is in deal flow, I played business. I worked on a logo. I wrote the software that would power the business. I built spreadsheets. I did everything except what would actually move the business forward. In that case was to go get capital. Today, if my business needs capital, I'll go raise it. I don't love that work, but I can do it, and I would do it because I've learned something about business. To succeed, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's it. Now, here's how to address this. I want you to ask yourself just one question. What does my business really need now? Right now. What does my business really need? It's not what's easy. It's not what's comfortable. What does it actually need? And if you need customers, stop writing SOPs. Go get customers. If you need capital, stop optimizing your website and go get capital. And if you need revenue, stop rebranding. Go generate revenue. Your business is like a crying baby. You wouldn't sleep until you figured out what it needs. Treat your business the same way. Cracker Barrel spent $750 million trying to fix a wrong problem. And guess what? Don't do what they did. SOPs come later. Automation comes later. Efficiencies come later. First, you need oxygen. You need revenue. You need deal flow. And if you want to know what your business actually needs right now, and not what's comfortable, but what's vital, I want you to take a 5-minute assessment. I want you to go to fixthisnextforrealestateinvestors.com, click free assessment, take the free assessment. It's going to ask you 25 yes or no questions. Answer them honestly. And when you do, it will help you identify what you need to fix next. Don't be like Cracker Barrel. I want you to fix real problems. All right. In a previous video, I talked about software, and one of the questions that I received from that is Frederick asked, you mentioned index cards. I mentioned the fact that I used index cards for my CRM for a year. And he says, that seems impossible to manage. Okay, I agree. It was rough. It's not the best system, an index card. They're good. I love index cards, but okay, I hear you. Is there software I can use that's cheaper that I could use as my CRM? And look, there's lots of free or low-cost software that you can use. You could use something as simple as Trello, Trello. You could use Trello, and basically it's like an index card system, right? Like you could have an intake, and then you could have step 1, step 2, step 3. You can build a poor man's version of the CRM Pipedrive, for example. Pipedrive is essentially you have the different columns that your leads are in. Give every lead a card and drag it to where it needs to be. That software is free. There's other ways that you can do this. I mean, you can Google free CRM. Yeah, places like HubSpot, they're going to offer a free plan. Guess what? They want to hook you in because HubSpot is somewhat expensive, right? So, you have to look at those things in the long term. But ultimately, what you're trying to do is you're just trying to keep your cost, especially for software, for all costs, though, so low in the beginning. You have to be profitable. And if you're not profitable, you're going to get burned out. That's just the point of that whole video. So I appreciate the question, Frederick. If you have a question, be sure to send me an email. You can do it at questions@landmodo.com. Go take that assessment and start working on the right problem for you today. As always, I love spending time with you, and I will see you in our next episode.